In this Tower Fantasy video, I'm going to give you my picks for the top 3 SR chipsets to use on Huma and the Molten Shield V2. Huma is a hybrid weapon doubling as a shield that can also become an axe, making it the perfect weapon for the tank who wants to do a bit of DPSing. Now before we get into the video, I have a super small favor to ask of you. I am extremely close to 28,000 subs on this channel, guys, and I hope to get there before October. As of the making of this video, I'm about 100 subs away from my goal, so it would be really cool if you could help me out, especially if this video is helpful to you. So the first chipset is one for a balanced build using all 3 weapon types: support, defense, and attack. The SR chipset I use on Huma for this is the Sobek Chipset Swamp Shadow. The 3-piece set here increases damage dealt by 6% at 1 star of the chipset, 7.5% at 2 stars of the chipset, which is what I have and what you're seeing, and 9% at 3 stars. Now if you don't know what I mean by stars, it just means that you have duplicates of the chips and use those duplicates to develop them into stronger versions. To get 1 star, you'll need to have duplicates of at least 3 chips in the set and use those duplicates to develop the chips you already have. The other weapons that I use with this balanced build is Nemesis for support heals and King Scythe of the Crows for DPS. In this gameplay, my Huma is only level 82, King is at level 100, and Nemesis is at 104. For Relics, I'm just using the hologram projector and I have that at no advancement. It basically creates a hologram that mimics my actions for 15 seconds and deals 35% of the damage I've dealt already over again. When it comes to Simulacra traits for this build, I use Nemesis for heals and damage over time. I recently reached 4k awakening points on Nemesis, so that now whenever I launch one of her electrodes, they will deal 100% of attack as damage to all enemies within 30 meters of the electrode and heal myself and my allies for 200% of attack. Next up is Fortitude, and using Huma in the role it was meant for, and that is a shield breaker. For this, I use the Robard chipset called Devourer. When a target is shattered, they are poisoned and take 45% of Huma's attack as damage every second for 10 seconds. So it's very important here that you pay attention to whatever enemy you're fighting, keeping a close eye on the shield strength. When you see their shield is about to break, you gotta switch to Huma and shatter it so they can take that damage over time. Along with Huma on this build, I use 2 more defense type weapons, Meryl's Rosy Edge and the Pummeler. When you are in full Fortitude role, you'll have more aggro than normal, so it's important that you follow the boss's attack patterns and learn when to dodge so you can trigger Fantasia for you and your allies. For a relic on this build, I only use Kuand, I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, an SR relic that grants shielding every 30 seconds. The Simulacra trait I run on this is Zeros, called Accurate Calculation, which reduces relic cooldown by 1.5 seconds every time I use a weapon skill, but you can only activate this for the same weapon 1 time every 5 seconds. And finally, for straight up attack, I use the Pepper chipset Nonstop. Nonstop increases the speed of attaining weapon charge by 10% at 1 star, but I have it at 2 stars and the charge speed is increased to 12.5%. At 3 stars, it's increased to 15%. Now, I like using Pepper for attack because if the enemy I'm facing has shield, I'm going to use a shield breaker to shatter it with repeated attacks. While I'm doing this, weapon charge builds a lot faster than normal so that when the shield is finally broken, I can switch over to another weapon and use its discharge to deal a good chunk of damage. The weapons I choose for this is King Scythe of the Crows and Claudia with Gurren Blade. King because the discharge is nasty and deals crazy damage over time for a few moments, and then Claudia because the Gurren Blade gets weapon charge even faster than Huma with the Pepper chipset, so I can quickly use another discharge skill. Huma has a pretty disgusting discharge skill as well, able to deal a ridiculous amount of damage. Relics for this build I use are the Hologram Projector and Missile Barrage, 2 relics that deal damage. My Missile Barrage is at 4 stars as of the making of this video and has a 60-second cooldown time. Using Zero's Awakening trait reduces that even further, so I'm almost always able to summon the missiles. The Hologram Projector has a longer cooldown time, but it's worth it to use when trying to get a lot of DPS out when you are fighting in the middle of a group of enemies and your discharge skills are ready. Like, it actually does like ridiculous, insane amounts of damage. Alright, so that's going to be it for this video. If it was helpful to you at all, please do not leave without leaving a like, and also don't forget to subscribe if you liked the video. If you have any questions or advice about this or anything else Tower Fantasy related, please let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.